How's your passport, man? Is it up to date?
You know, I've been to Bahamas one time, and you will never guess what I went down there to do. I went down there to watch Muhammad Ali box, the last boxing match of his career.
Oh my
December
God.
of 1980, he fought Trevor Berbick.
Berbick?
Yeah, he lost.
Damn,
his last fight of his career.
He fought him earlier, didn't he?
No, that was Berbick in his last fight. He fought Ken Norton earlier. But yeah, the Bahamas is a great place to go. Rick, loved taking Louisville down there. They played that battle for Atlantis many, many times.
That's what this is, right?
Yeah, it's a short.
And Louisville's back in it.
Louisville's in it again next year with Indiana.
Yeah. Oh man, this is a loaded lineup. Gonzaga, Arizona, Creighton.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Davidson, Louisville, Indiana.
Well, then I do need to get my passport.
I'm telling you, brother.
Let's throw some money together and get that private plane going, buddy. I'll drive up to Bloomington.
You know what? I agree with you. That's a great idea. We should do that. But yeah, that is going to be a big, like I said, Indiana, Arizona, Gonzaga, Louisville, Creighton, West Virginia, Oklahoma, and Davidson. So I left them out.
There's no judge in the entire field.
No, yeah. I mean, this is a loaded lineup. Davidson is the smallest one, but don't count them out. Oklahoma, of course, will be a member of the SEC then. West Virginia of the Big 12, Creighton from the Big East, Louisville from the ACC, Gonzaga from currently, are they in the Mountain West?
West Coast
Conference. Then Arizona, also from the Big 12 now.
Big 12.
So there you go. And then Indiana from the Big 10. So that's a great mix.
You can be a good team and come home from there. You can be a good team and come home from there with 2 or 3 losses.
Absolutely. Or you can go down there and really jumpstart a season. You
can. Yeah. It's a very small venue though too. They play it's not like some big gym. It's a small venue.
Yeah, very intimate. It's like a room that you could see it's a ballroom, basically. I mean, I'm assuming the court is on top of carpet.
It's not like a gymnasium. Yeah, it's something it's a convention area or a conference area, something where they put the floor and seats and stuff around it. I mean, it's only like 2,000 or 3,000 people in there at the most.
I mentioned earlier that Indiana is still such a brand that they're wanted. Their success sure helps. You're absolutely more wanted when you're better. And someone mentioned, Robert says he keeps hearing me say that IU basketball is in demand, but they don't get top primetime game slots anymore. Really, I disagree with that. I think that they are. I think that's why they're in these events. That's why they're going to Madison Square Garden. That's why they're going to Atlanta. That's why they were in Las Vegas. They are a brand. Notre Dame has not been. I mean, they had a good season a while ago, but they haven't been great. But it's Notre Dame football. It's a brand that has been built over years, and Indiana needs to be better, no doubt, because the tarnish was definitely wearing off. But it's been kind of started to get. Mike Woodson's doing a good job of getting the polish back, getting the shine back. They've got to do some winning, and this year is going to be really tricky. I know fans are thinking a lot. I don't know what to expect from this team.
Yeah, I mean, he's not scheduling like he's afraid. I mean, he's okay. We'll go down there and play Auburn closer to their campus in Atlanta. We'll do that. We'll go.
He loves that Atlanta recruiting area. You got 2 guys on their team right now.
Right. We'll sign a 2-year deal with Kansas. Kansas, I read yesterday, somebody's got a preseason #1 for next season. They got the deal in New York with they'll play the defending national champions, and then if they win or lose, they play Louisville. They're playing Harvard and Indianapolis. I mean, yeah, and he's scheduling boldly. And I'm sure when Kansas comes off the schedule, when this 2-year deal is done, he'll find another national type name team. I don't know whether it'd be St. John's or Arizona or UCLA or somebody. They'll find somebody else to take the place of Kansas.
How long does Calipari stay at Kentucky?
How long does he stay? Oh, he's going to stay for a while. Indiana needs to move on from that. Quit obsessing about Kentucky and play somebody else.
Well, I know the fans do obsess about it, but that's the only time that they're going to get back on the schedule. That's what I'm telling people.
When Cal leaves?
Yes, it will not happen until he is gone, I do not think.
Could be. Better chance they might play Louisville. Mike Woodson and Kenny Payne are good buddies.
Well, hell, they're going to play him possibly twice, regardless, before then.
Yeah, they could play in New York and keep playing the Bahamas.
And play him in football.
Yeah, once at least.
I'm thinking
about IU basketball. Having a hard time deciding how they're going to be next year because there's so many new faces.
Exactly. I don't know.
When you lose a guy who's been as important as Trace Jackson Davis has been for 4 years, it's going to be different. He was such a security blanket for that team. Whenever there was a struggle, you could count on him to go out and, in a lot of games, put up big numbers, points, blocks, rebounds, the whole deal. They don't have anybody that I think is going to have those kind of numbers this year. But as a group, the front court maybe could be better. You can improve from Miller Kopp and Race Thompson with Malik Renew taking a step forward, with Khalil Ware, doing his thing. Kenzie Mbako. I think the kid from Ball State is going to be a very good 10 to 15 minute. Peyton Sparks will be a good 10 to 15 minute a game player off the bench.
And you got the kid from Miami.
Caleb Banks showed nice flashes last year, and the kid from Miami, Anthony Walker, has been part of a winning program, and it says a lot about him that he chose to come to Indiana for his 5th year, knowing that he probably wasn't going to play a bunch. So he should be able to. The questions in the guard play. It looks like Newton is questionable at best for the season after he's had another surgery and hasn't played really much for 2 years. So that leaves your depth a little low. You're going to have Galloway and Xavier Johnson, and then your backups are C.J. Gunn, obviously, and Gabe Cupps and Anthony Leal. And they kind of tipped their hand of the concern they have at the guard play by bringing on 2 more walk-ons who are both guards. So you got 5 walk-ons now on this team, and that's a lot. And, it's all going to come down to me, Gunn, Banks, those guys who were freshmen last year, Renew, are going to have to make a jump. Not like an Oladipo jump, but a jump to become consistent players. And I don't mean like consistent double-figure scores. I mean, you need a guy, when you put him in the game, you can consistently believe that he's not going to turn the ball over. He's not going to, have games where he puts up a 0. He's going to at least contribute. That's what you need from young guys. Consistency of effort, consistency of attention to detail, consistency of being a competitor. That's what Indiana's kind of lacked over the last few years. Too many guys that one game they're this, and the next game they're this, and the next game they're this. You need the really good teams. The players are more consistent.
Absolutely, and that's I know Indiana fans are really bullish on their team, which is great. But I keep trying to remind them, hey, you've got a Purdue team that has a set of guards that went through the fire last year. They were indoctrinated into the fire, and they took some heat. They played well at times. They got defended and shut down at times. But they have been playing and playing and playing and playing through that. They played over in Europe. And I got news for you. They're going to be better. And Purdue is going to be better. You've still got Zach Edey. I don't know that he's going to be any better because he is what he is. But you've also got guys like Trey Kaufman-Wren, who, from what I've seen and heard, has greatly improved. And if that is the case, that is just going to make it that much tougher for teams in the Big Ten, because we saw how dominant they were last year. Much of the time, Indiana was able to put that defense on those guards. I'm not sure that's going to be able to happen this year, and you can't count on that. Plus, you don't have the player that led to that second win that scored 35 points at Purdue. He's on the roster of the LA Lakers. You can't just replace that. The guy that did
right.
did everything else for most of the season, is on the roster of the Golden State Warriors. That is a lot to replace, a lot of experience. One of the guys was here for 4 years and is the all-time leading rebounder. That's not easy to replace. If you do so by committee, great, but there's just so many unknowns that I don't. And with Xavier, is he going to distribute more or try to score more? And the number 2 spot I keep talking about with Trey Galloway, he's got to increase his point production, and then that's probably going to be a committee spot there where they win that spot.
Well, he's one of the guys that I'm talking about in terms of being consistent. I mean, he had how many games did he have where he just didn't do anything offensively? He's got to find ways that he can have a more consistent offensive game. He shot a really good percentage from 3, but
didn't shoot it much.
Didn't shoot at all. Yeah, I mean, it's common sense. They lost not only Jackson Davis, who was the best player in the league, and they lost Huichefino, who was the best freshman in the league. They lost 2 other guys that started quite a bit for the last 2 seasons. You can't replace 4 starters and expect a team to come out and be great, from the very beginning of the year. That's not going to happen. We're going on potential. What we've heard Kalel Ware is, what we heard Mackenzie Mbako is, but they haven't done it against consistency against college level competition. Either one of them have a lot to prove. And is there potential there to be as good as last season? Yeah, there is, but there's also question marks. And I agree with you. I mean, if I had to pick the Big Ten right now, it'd be Michigan State, Purdue 2. And then there's a gap to whoever else is next. And there's going to be a bunch of teams trying to be that 3rd team, whether it's Wisconsin or whether it's Michigan or Indiana or Ohio State's supposed to be a lot better. Indiana will be in that pack of teams trying to be 3rd best, and they could be 3rd best, but they could be 8th best.